Namaskar, we are extremely excited to bring to you the Eat Right India initiative of FSSAI adopted by Herbalife Nutrition in Karnataka. Herbalife is all committed to make the state healthy and safe. And together we'd like to extend a huge welcome to our session today on balanced diets from Indian heritage. And we'd like to introduce our guest for today, Chef Manjeet Singh Gill, Corporate Executive Chef, ITC Hotels, one of the founders of the Indian Federation of Culinary Associations, and presently its president. Namaste.
Namaste.
The prime role was to share knowledge and mentoring. Since 2003, he was instrumental in getting India membership to the World Association of Chefs and Societies, where he has more than 100 countries as its members. His work at WAX has not gone unnoticed, and today Manjeet Gill sits as a chairman of the very prestigious Culinary Culture and Heritage Committee, which has 103 member countries. Such a pleasure to have you here with us today. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you very much for your kind words, Nidhi.
Thank you. And Manjeet ji, every successful person has an inspiring story. So, आपके पीछे क्या कहानी है that drove you towards, cooking and this line and culinary adventure?
You see, I don't have any story that in the childhood only I used to cook and all that, but I was very good in many, practical aspect activities, that is sports person and all that. And I was being a science student, I was very good in making the science modules and all that. Participate in the exhibitions and all that. So I was good. Other than the study, I was all right. But my other curricular activity is sketching and all that, the paintings. So I used to do multiple things, this. So when I started the hotel management, till that I didn't know there's a career of the chef. I joined hotel management. But in the hotel management, the cooking is a very major subject. And when I, in the cooking practical classes, I really took a lot of interest, and I found that the way I'm brought up and my, bringing up and my background and all that, and by nature, I'll be very good. I'll be only do justify in the kitchen in the hotel, not in other departments maybe. So then I really took interest in the cooking only. And then, like in the old homes, the mothers used to talk about the food on the table. And then, then you start remembering all these things. It was not when she used to talk, I thought I'll become a chef. No, I never knew about it. But, then took a lot of interest. And then my really, that I only appeared for the kitchen jobs, for the kitchen management training Oberoi I joined. And the training was initially all in the Western cuisine, because mostly Western chefs were there at that time. That if you don't know the Western cuisine, you can't become an executive chef or the head of the department. Whatever, those things were there at that time. But I think my fortunate, I am very lucky that I joined ITC in 77. And in ITC, it was more, their slogan used to be the, state brand, nobody gives India like we do. They were Indian, the hotel name, the architecture. There's always a story of India in every ITC hotel. Even today also you see that. So there were a lot of opportunities. The mentoring by Mr. Yanak sir happened. And then started taking the interest from the Western kitchen to the Indian kitchen. Then I found myself, it's very interesting. Started reading about it and took a lot of interest. And then when the incidents happened, I went to Cornell University for my advanced studies. And over there, the people were there from all different cultures and the different areas. And, they asked me about the Indian food more, of course, than any other food. And I was quite ignorance about Indian food. Because the hotel school, they teach Western food, then joined the Western kitchen in Oberoi, it was more on that. But Indian knowledge was very little. And I really felt that, it is not right, there's something wrong. Because I'm not from that culture. I don't know that language. So I must. And then, you see, these things keep turning. That another thing came when I started eating Indian culture and the Indian gastronomy through the Ayurveda and many other historical, cultural, anthropology books where the food references come. And there's a book called Internal Food by an anthropologist. And in that book is written that the originality of the food is only possible if origin of the cuisine and the origin of the chef is same. If there is a gap in this, the real flavor, the taste, you cannot bring because you are not. It's a cultural cooking is or cuisine is cultural issue. You have to be evolved with that culture. You have to understand that culture. Then only you can do justice to that. So these few things happened. Which really made me committed to the Indian food. Like in today, I think I know enough Western food, but some people think I don't know the ABC of Western food. But I'm very happy. Why I need to know it? I
I
should know my
totally
food,
agree.
my
I
culture,
totally agree.
my culture. So this is my story coming like more, becoming a more committed chef or cook, you say, and then India and talking about Indian food.
And the complete
And
diversity of
so
India as
that,
it reflects on your map.
and we are lucky that we born in this country where the legacy of the food, the heritage of the food, not only the ingredients, but the knowledge, the science, which Ayurveda has done. And that science is true. It was that time, it was true in the medieval time, it's true today, it is going to be true in the future.
बिल्कुल सही जैसे आपने कहा भारत की जो सतरंगी सभ्यता है वो हमारे खाने से झलकती है यहाँ मैं आपसे
Absolutely. Food and the language.
हर्बल्स फूड की तो तुलसी की बात करें अश्वगंधा की ब्राह्मी की मुलेठी की आंवला की ये सारी चीजें हाँ
that's what I'm saying. It's not the ingredients, it's the knowledge behind it. It's the knowledge. And then what is their effect on the body and the environment?
Yes.
Remember that today people are talking. Ayurveda, our gastronomy, I normally use the word gastronomy because Indian gastronomy, because Ayurveda is the knowledge of the whole life. And there is a one vertical in that is the food, the gourmet, gastronomy. Whereas there are many other things in the Ayurveda. So we are concerned, I am concerned only with the gastronomy. I am not an Ayurveda practitioner as a medicine. I am only a Ayurveda Indian gastronomy. So gastronomy, it's very much in detail. You surprise the way even you learn how to plan the menu, you learn what are the textures of the food, how they are defined so deeply, so nicely. Our textures are not like hard, soft, semi-soft or something like that. It is every texture of the food is really, as according to our gastronomy, is how we consume the food. We chew the food, domesticate the food, that is one texture. We swallow the food, that is one texture. We drink the food, there is one texture. There is a food is lickable. You lick that food. There is a food which is you suckable. You suck that food. So all these are the different textures when you do it. This is what the experience has to happen in a meal. That's why in our food there is a food which is little tough texture, which is investigated. Then there are things which you swallow. Then there's a curd. There's a chutney to leg. There's a nice little sharbat or a small drink with that, which is compatible to all these things. So all the ways you consume the food in one meal. It's a fantastic knowledge which is.
मैं यहाँ आपसे जानना चाहूंगी क्योंकि आपको इतने लोग जानते हैं भारत में और आजकल क्योंकि पैंडेमिक टाइम्स है आपके हिसाब से सस्टेनेबल डाइट या बैलेंस डाइट का कॉम्बिनेशन क्या होगा? Give us a few examples, Manjeet ji.
You see, I believe that the one is that the way we serve our cuisine in a thali, it's a very balanced meal example in the world. It's the finest example. And no doubt, with the time, few things have been spoiled with the people are trying out many experiments. The real thali is, there's a one protein thing in that, whether it's a meat or it's a paneer or it's a legume like maybe rajma and those kind of things. Then there's this, lentil, which is, lentil, not the pulse, the lentil, and a vegetable and a kadori of curd. So this is the right amount of protein and carbohydrate and the and the fats, in that is the very balanced one. And you see, the fantastic thing is that, all the katoris have the same volume.
Yes.
They are not, it's not like, the many cuisines or in the Western cuisine, there's a large piece of meat as a main dish. There is nothing main dish in our system. It's a balanced, everything is the same volume. So when the same volume, it means automatically the protein is required. What is today the word is saying 1 gram per kilo is the requirement after the pandemic. And that is what we are following from the ancient time. Now, katori doesn't carry more than 50, 60, 70 grams of meat.
Okay.
So, everything is, so that is
Reasonable.
the balanced diet is, you must have, you must eat the important, the balanced diet is only if the food is seasonal, it should be local. And, our gastronomy displays the things so beautifully. They are incompatible foods are so nicely mentioned. There are 18, they have given the things which are incompatible and or which is, I think today the nutrition is talking and researching on the antagonistic foods, or virodhas in Ayurveda. The first two virodhas in the 17 is Desh Virodha and Kal Virodha. Desh Virodha means local, Kal Virodha means seasonal. So, this is written thousands of years back, which the whole world is now talking today.
Bilkul.
But it's written there. And we were following it in between, okay, with the industrialization, everything is available around the year from here, there, and all that. But now people realize everything available around the year is not the right thing. Season is season.
Seasonal and local food also.
So all these things are very important in menu planning or you plan your diet. It's very, very important. And then other incompatibilities we have to see, with the milk, all kind of fruit doesn't go with the milk. Because the fruits are acidic. Milk is, it gets curdled before. It doesn't work both at the time of digestion and the metabolism. And, so there are a lot of things which are there, in the Virodhas. If you keep that in mind, you can really make a well-balanced meat and the right meat, a right food, right meal for you, even today.
और अगर बच्चों की बात करें तो they are having multiple snacks during these times also. And how do you make it more interesting for children without giving them junk food? किस तरह की रेसिपी आप शेयर करना चाहेंगे आज जो हेल्दी भी है और टेस्टी भी है और बच्चों के लिए?
You see, the best is if you want children to have a good food habits, let them mess around with the food.
Yes.
Let them mess with the food. Let them eat the way they want it. Let them spoil the tablecloth or their own clothes or the mouth or face or whatever it is. Involve them into the food. When you are cutting the food, you can tell the child to pick up one piece of bhindi and give it to me. That is the involvement. That's the feel. That's the natural emotional touch. You are bringing the child to that particular vegetable or the particular kind of a thing. Like with the age, you can involve them in the cooking. I'm not saying at a very young age. They can play with the vegetables so that they can feel the texture, they can feel the color, they will have emotion with that. And it is a variety. Like every day, the toy is changing. So must involve them into the food. If you really want that they must food, they cannot eat which is mistake, Otherwise they will eat whatever you make a porridge and, mix everything and all that. But every day is not make them interesting.
And as you rightly said, important. Bilkul.
Yeah. You involve them. You cut the food differently for them, different design you cut. You can create a lot of things. And children eat one dish or two, not mostly one dish and one staple. And that can be made very, very interestingly. And the crockery can be changed. Everything, creativity doesn't mean that you have to fusion the food or you have to make only changes in the food, but the whole experience is a creative.
Absolutely.
So
And आपने जो
everything should be
culinary,
taken into account. Yeah.
Manjeet ji, you've started this lovely
हाँ जी।
institute, Culinary Institute. तो आप हमसे शेयर करें अपनी फेवरेट रेसिपी, जो भी आपको बेस्ट लगती है, या कौन सी आपको अच्छी लगती है?
You see, Nidhi, it will be the two questions I can never answer in my life. One is the favorite recipe or the
I
favorite
knew this.
dish
I knew
which
this
I
before
want to eat.
asking you. Yes.
I want to eat. It is not possible. The food is, you know, it is, there are many reasons to have a particular food. My dish I like, it might be worse for you, and I should eat according to the moment, according to the things available. Now your fridge is full of ingredients, but my dish, one ingredient is not there. I should not make you run around to produce that thing because I like that. No, I am not in this. I'm saying, the recipes never produce a good cooking. Never. If you follow them, a good cooking can produce a very good recipe, can create a good recipe to give someone, and to that is also as a guideline. But you cook with your mind, you cook with your mood, you cook for whom you're cooking. So there are many factors which come in. So recipe is, for me, the recipe is just a guideline to give you one direction. But between the lines of the recipe, you have to put your mind into that, your emotions into that. The dish will be different. It will be more,
of love.
do goodness to the person to whom you have eaten.
बिल्कुल. और यहाँ हम बात ये भी करना चाहेंगे आपसे कि कई रेस्टोरेंट्स में देखा जाता है ऑयल या घी का बहुत इस्तेमाल होता है, तो इसके बारे में आपकी क्या राय है? क्या आप बोलेंगे जो शेफ्स हैं आगे?
इसमें it's a very concerned area, and we must take care of it. You see, one is, incidentally, we don't have many cooks which are trained structurally. So people learn cooking at least for the lower level, and then they become in a bigger hotels or something. The structured kitchens are there, the training, a lot of things are different. But in a normal, people are, doing cooking without any training. And what happens? There are two reasons of the oil which is there. One is, you put more oil, it becomes easier to cook. Otherwise, you have to take care of the food much more. You have to be there to eat, to cook the food. So with the work pressure, they put little oil and more ghee, and so they're easy to cook. The other is that we have changed in the hotels and the restaurants particularly, pots which are not traditional pots. They are flat bottom pots. Our pots traditionally, from one end to the other end of the country, whichever shape they have on above the pot, but the lower portion of the pot is always has a curved surface.
Correct, absolutely.
Always have a curve. Whether you call it a handi, patila, lagan, kadai, you call whatever. But the bottom of, 2 inches or 3 inches always have a curve, and after that the shape changes.
Yes.
Of the pot according to the technicality of the food and what to do in that. The curve is because the flat bottom is the biggest culprit of having a more fat into the food. You cannot judge how much oil you put, in a flat surface. Because the whole surface has to have a line of fat. Whether it is 1 mm, which is more than enough, it may be double the oil if the same food to be cooked in the curved bottom. So that is we must understand the science and respect our traditional pots of cooking. It can be of any material you made. Shapes are very important.
Absolutely.
They are very, very. So that is the reason there is more oil into our food.
बिल्कुल.
There is no other reason.
सावधानी तो हमें रखनी है, क्योंकि उससे नुकसान भी हो सकता है. क्या कुछ ऐसी टिप्स होंगी जो आप चलते चलते दे के जाएंगे एस्पायरिंग शेफ्स को, सर?
Yeah,
chefs like you.
Two, three things which I believe
जी,
People must understand the food. Food is not a commodity.
जी,
Food is a very auspicious substance which is given by the Almighty. We must respect. We see for me, the food is the manifestation of the God. So we have to keep that, level to understand the food. And food is the only thing which has the nature's five elements, and the body has the five elements. So food is the nature. You are the nature. So you have to see both things in harmony. So food cannot be which hamper the nature, then that's not a food. This is what now people have started talking, but our ancestors have talked about all these things. It's very, very important. And I will only say, you see, if you want to cook a good food, like to answer the things which are normally used, that you must cook with passion, you must cook with love, you cook, all these kind of things. But I don't know how to put love or passion into the food. I don't know. But I understand that which is written in our manuscript, the four essentials of cooking. One is you must have a good knowledge on the characteristic of each ingredient so that you pair your ingredients or combine the ingredients with their characteristics. If you understand that, any ingredient which is put in the food has to have some role to play. Otherwise, don't put it just for the sake of just putting it. So, if that will make your cooking simpler, you will be able to make much tastier food with the lesser items, and it will be more economical. So, you have a good knowledge. Number two is that, like I was telling for the kids, you must have emotional touch and feel of the food. Anybody is cooking, but you must touch and feel and direct the other person. If somebody is cooking, to take the help, you can do that. But you must have emotional touch with the food. Number three is that your mind has to be there where cooking is happening. It is a very high level of meditation. That is why cooking is relaxing, because you do with very highest level of concentration. So must do that. And the number fourth is must have good thoughts in mind when you cook. Have positive energy. With negative energy, if you have, it will be a disaster. So these are the four things which differ from chef to chef. Some chefs are doing this. They might not be aware. They might have not read it, but by nature they are doing it. That's why the food is better than the other. Otherwise, the supply of ingredient is from the same mandi. Supply of people is from the same block, same lot. Either somebody else hire, the same people, but the food is different. So the chefs must understand, the cooks must understand these four essentials. And the other last I want to say, is that make tasty must understand the science of Indian taste, which in our science, it is written in Indian, it's a very scientific. People must understand and read. There are 6 tastes, which are sweet, salt, sour, pungent, bitter, astringent. And these are the tastes of natural flora and fauna. And if you can understand them, if you can understand the taste of every ingredient, your pairing and your final product will be better. And it's very clear in Indian gastronomy, we say food is nutritious, or even having the nutrients in the ingredients, if it is well balanced with the 6 tastes. In every meal, you must enjoy the 6 tastes. I'm not talking about the indulgence. 6 tastes, you must enjoy the 6 tastes. And balanced food or body requirement is always a taste, not the quantity. Once you will start eating the tasty food, you will start eating the less quantity also.
Correct.
Body satisfaction, tripti, what do you call it? Tripti is much more if the food is well balanced with 6 tastes. That is the fundamental of the Indian food and Indian heritage.
And on that very pragmatic note, I thank you today for joining us for this very, very insightful conversation on food. And we are at the forefront of bringing in behavioral change in food, and nutrition is something that we really need to work on. And I'd like to thank you.
Thank you very much. I just
joining
want,
us. Okay.
okay, I just want to one record straight. I'm a former corporate chef of ITC. I'm not now.
Former chef.
Okay.
जी. Special shout out to
Former
Life
Thank you.
Nutrition और आप हमारे लिए बहुत ही गौरव की बात है कि आप हमारे साथ आज जुड़े. And this is essential to ensure.
It's my pleasure and thank you very much. Thank you very much.
जी.
Thank you.
And this session was very essential to ensure, sir, that everyone has access to healthy habits and a nutritious diet. We must move forward with this spirit.
People must understand the food.
Healing
Must understand the food. Don't take cooking as a mathematical exercise, counting the calories on the calculator. Enjoy purchase of the ingredients. Enjoy enjoy cooking them. Serve to your loved ones and enjoy at every step of the food. But don't make a mathematical exercise. It doesn't matter. Food need moderation. If you go wrong with some calories, if you think Ayurveda doesn't believe in calories, we don't, because the food is not right weight. Food quality is not counting calories. So, but whatever, it's a different science, is well respected. But enjoy that.
Yeah.
Automatically, you will start enjoy eating also. Then you will start eating slow also. The whole process changes if you enjoy and with the positive energy do the things.
Ji. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you. Look forward to it. Namaste.
Namaste to all the viewers joining us from across the world. I'm Nidhi Kumar, your host, and we are extremely excited to bring to you the Eat Right India initiative of FSSAI, adopted by Herbalife Nutrition in Karnataka. Herbalife is all committed to make the state healthy and safe. And as we all struggle to combat the spread of the virus, it is important also to talk about healthy eating and exercise, positive attitude, rest and nutrition. Earn, as we call it, are all products in Herbalife Nutrition. It is our absolute pleasure to have with us today Dr. Vineet Talwar, Director, Department of Medical Oncology, Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Institute, Delhi. Namaste and welcome. Many thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, madam. Thank you.
Dr. Talwar, the world is sitting on a mountain of unprecedented health challenges. It is all a play of immunity. It is said that this virus is in the chain and will come to us at some point. You cannot pass it off like a common flu. It can hit us in a major way. So what are some of the tips that you would like to share besides, tips as a doctor? What do you feel is happening and how do we change that, sir?
So first and foremost is that, of course, the usual three things: you wear your mask, you do the social distancing, and you make sure that you get vaccine. Even a single shot matters. If you get both the shots, then nothing like it. The other thing is that more the people get vaccinated, more the virus has to struggle to infect. Meaning thereby that you have a person who's vaccinated vis-a-vis a person who's not vaccinated, the chances of the person not vaccinated goes up manifold. That is one. And second is that apart from these usual things, you have to make sure that you are in a good physical as well as mental state of mind.
Ji, bilkul.
Because if you are down physically or if you are down mentally, both are going to create an adverse effect as far as the present problem of the pandemic is concerned. So I think one has to have a holistic approach towards this problem and go ahead.
Sir, you're one of the best cancer specialists in India. And as that is also very important, those patients are also at the risk of COVID-19. How would you suggest to them to boost their immunity at this particular time?
Cancer patients have been labeled as the vulnerable category in this COVID pandemic.
Ji.
And of course, the first thing which they should get is vaccination.
Mhm.
And barring a few situations like those people who have undergone transplant
Mhm.
or those people who have had specific kind of monoclonal antibodies, all of them should be vaccinated. Now, that is one. Second, I was talking about the mental health.
Mhm.
Even if you look in the normal populace of Indians, you find that 10%
Mhm.
of people over 18 years of age, they suffer from some kind of mental ill health, I'll put it that way.
Mhm.
With the present pandemic, there is a lot of pressure on the finances. There's a lot of pressure because of the economic instability,
Mhm.
and there is depression because of the cancer per se. So these are the emotional and the psychological overtones. Apart from this, physically, if you see, definitely 20% of cancer is linked, to air pollution, to tobacco, to lifestyle changes. So you got to make sure that one does not fall prey to these addictions like alcohol and tobacco. If anybody who's suffering from cancer and has these things attached, immediately, that person should be told that please stop that, please abhor from that.
Mhm.
Lifestyle changes, you should sleep on time, you should get up on time, you should have a set time to have your food.
Mhm.
And then, of course, there are a lot of nutritional aspects. Whenever you eat food, it should be the correct quantity. It should be a kind of a middle of the road path. You should not go for asparagus or Brussels sprouts, things which are not available in India, and think that you've done a great job while eating. You should take something which is available locally and should have a lot of green vegetables, should have a lot of fibers. So physical being, emotional being, psychological, mental health, they form the whole gamut of this whole problem here.
बिल्कुल अगर हम महिलाओं की बात करें सर तो उन्हें पोषण ठीक से नहीं मिल पाता है कई वजह है इसकी और कुछ लड़कियों की अगर बात करें बच्चियों की बात करें बेटियों की बात करें देश की तो उन्हें वो मिड डे मील से ही मिलता था वो भी बंद हो गया और घर में लास्ट में उन्हें खाना दिया जाता है और कई महिलाएं कैंसर की भी शिकार होती हैं तो ऐसे में क्या सही खाना है और क्या सप्लीमेंट्स लेने हैं क्योंकि पूरे वर्ल्ड में अगर देखा जाए तो हर जगह सर्चेस आर गोइंग वायरल फूड की बात करें तो आंवला क्या है मुलेठी क्या है हर चीज में आप अपने कबर्ड्स में ढूंढ रहे टर्मरिक क्या है so I know that these things also make a difference in Indian lifestyle. What would you like to add to all of these जो आपने देखा है कि कैंसर के पेशेंट्स के लिए क्या बेस्ट फिट होता है
देखिए, first of all, I would like to say that whenever you talk of food, you talk of the gut. That is nothing but our intestine. Now, it is colloquially said that the intestine is the second brain of the body. First brain is there, second brain. It is the most important site of immunity. So, having said that, you got to respect the intestine. Whichever way you want, you take salads. They have natural enzymes which prevent, dissolution or killing of the normal gut bacteria, which are the good bacteria which help you. You know, we see a lot of advertisements in which they say that you please take probiotics because it will enhance your gut bacteria. So when we take adverse foods, by adverse foods I mean uh, sodas, over fried foods, excess consumption of tea or
Junk.
coffee. Yeah, you you got it from my mouth. Junk food, which is encompassing everything. So when that happens, the probiotics they get down. That is the normal healthy gut flora. So apart from salads, if you want to have vegetables, don't over fry them. You make it, you know, light sauteed so that it does not kill the nutrients inside. The oils which you use, you know, nowadays you are coming across triple refined, double refined, hydrogenated, all kinds of mishmash you have. You have a combination of 3, 4 oils. The cold pressed oils, they are the best oils because they retain the nutrition very much as compared to the industrially produced oils. You come to the micronutrients, they are equally important as compared to the macronutrients. Micronutrients, vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin D. Vitamin D, you can have those capsules because nowadays everybody is
Upright
sitting
capsules, yes.
upright capsules. Everybody is sitting inside. Nobody is, you know, exposed to the sun. If you are not exposed to the sun, the body will not manufacture vitamin D.
And India is a land where there is so much sunshine and golden sun. मतलब ये तो बहुत गौरव की बात है कि भारत में सूरज का इतना.
But with special reference to the pandemic, people are forced to sit inside.
Yes, indoors.
You will be surprised that if you randomly take 10 people, at least 5 people will have less vitamin D levels in their body. In fact, even if you check your vitamin D, don't be surprised if it comes insufficient or very low. So that is the problem. Now, why is it a problem? Why are you focusing so much on vitamin D? Morning when you get up, you feel totally lethargic, like a punctured tire. You feel body aches. You're not able to concentrate. You feel fidgety. You feel irritated. These are the symptoms of vitamin D deficiency. And coupled with this, you have vitamin B complex deficiency, especially B12 deficiency. That also is very rampant. So these two are very rampant in cancer patients and also in the normal population. So B and C, you supplement. Vitamin C, take a lot of amla, take it whole or squish it, take out its juice, but natural juice, mind you, don't take the bottle ones. Can take vitamin C tablet.
Or you can chew it. Amla can be chewn also.
You can chew, yeah. Any citrus juice, for that matter, has a very high source of vitamin C, which is very good for the immunity of the individual. So routinely we give this to our cancer patients to boost up their immunity. And even in this pandemic, you must have seen most of the people have been consuming vitamin C off and on. Zinc is there, selenium is there, molybdenum is there. Zinc and selenium you can find in nuts, peanuts, walnuts, banana. Calcium is also there, which is very common. And apart from that, the most important thing, if you can have the whole grain meal, that would be the best. The more the wheat is ground, the worse it is. The more the processed foods you take, the worse it is.
तो आप कहना चाह रहे हैं कि रॉ फूड पे भी हमारा ज्यादा जहन और ज्यादा तवज्जो होना चाहिए क्योंकि रॉ फूड बहुत लाभदायक है.
आप अगर रॉ लेना नहीं चाहते, you can take parboiled or you can take lightly sauteed so that you don't kill the nutrients inside. If you deep fry it, half of the nutrients go for a toss.
Correct.
And to digest it, it's a big problem.
आप हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल कैसे संबोधित करेंगे, किस तरह परिभाषित करेंगे एक हेल्दी लाइफस्टाइल? आप क्या समझते हैं एक्सरसाइज कितनी जरूरी है? और आज के समय में जब आपके पेशेंट्स भी नहीं जा पाते हैं बाहर तो वो क्या करें? जिम्स बंद हैं या खुल जाते हैं फिर बंद हो जाते हैं?
अपने ही लोकल एरिया में इफ यू कैन वॉक फॉर
हम्म
अबाउट
हम्म
half an hour of brisk walking
हम्म
where you start sweating and you feel slightly on the tired side, that
हम्म
is the time when you have accomplished your task. So you
हम्म
don't need fancy gyms, you don't need areas, gardens or lawns which are specifically devoted to that.
हम्म
Do that, sleep on time. This is the thing which is not often followed, even amongst us. Why anybody for that matter? The stresses and strains of life are so much that sometimes you try to let it go away. Eat on time, sleep on time, eat on time. That is also very important. And if you can do, if you have a treadmill at home, not everybody will have a treadmill at home. If you have a treadmill, use it to the fullest.
हम्म
तो कहने का मतलब ये है कि अगर if you have the will, अगर आप चाहते हो कि आप एक्सरसाइज करोगे, then definitely nobody can stop you. Even in a 10-foot area, you can do exercise.
बिल्कुल। और यहाँ पे आपको क्या लगता है सर, सरकार का क्या रोल है फूड एंड न्यूट्रिशन लैंडस्केप की अगर बात की जाए, प्रिवेंटिव हेल्थ केयर की बात की जाए, किस तरह देखते हैं आप? हम तीसरी लहर की बात कर रहे हैं, आप और मैं जब बात कर रहे हैं, तो द वेरिएंट्स आर स्प्रेडिंग, द वायरस इज म्यूटेटिंग, इट इज स्मार्टर देन यू एंड आई। तो आप इसको कैसे कहना चाहेंगे कि क्या क्या हमें ख्याल रखना चाहिए हेल्थ केयर में?
में अब वही है कि अगर आप इंडिविजुअल के पर्सपेक्टिव से देखो, इंडिविजुअल के पर्सपेक्टिव से ये है कि हर एक कोई है वो सरकार को पूछता रहता है, सरकार को बोलता है, दोषी ठहराता है कि सरकार ये नहीं कर रही, सरकार वो नहीं कर रही, बट देन everything starts from your own self. If you don't take it as a responsibility not to go about unnecessarily, कहीं आपने काम पे जाना है, जरूरी चीज है तो जरूर जाइए, पूरा प्रिकॉशन लेके जाइए, बट ऐसे बाहर घूमना, और अगर बाहर घूमने भी जाते हैं, सारे जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन है उनको तोड़ना, मैं आपको
लापरवाही, बिल्कुल।
लापरवाही है, वो चीज नहीं होनी चाहिए। दूसरा ये है, सरकार की तरफ से द गवर्नमेंट इज टू इंश्योर कि ये जो अभी अनफॉर्चुनेट इंसिडेंट्स हुए हैं अप्रैल और मई में, ये ना हो। देखिए उसका भी एक और पहलू है। अब आई गिव यू एन एग्जांपल।
जी।
There was an architect who came to my clinic, and we were talking about corona only and the second wave. He said government has totally lost its tempo, government did nothing, so many people were dying, there was no oxygen, there were no beds, there were no medicines. So I kept on listening to him. आराम से मैं सुनता रहा 10 मिनट, 12 मिनट, 15 मिनट, फिर मैंने बोला कि अब I should start. I said आपका काम क्या है? बोलता है I'm an architect. मैं बोला suppose you have a house
जी।
and you want to house in 10 people. How many rooms and how many bathrooms will you make? तो उसने अपना कैलकुलेशन किया, बोलता है मैं 4 कमरे बनाऊंगा और 2 बाथरूम ये बना के बढ़िया हो जाएगा, ये अटैच्ड होगा, ये होगा, वो होगा। मैं बोला you have 10 people and you have 2 bathrooms. Suppose all 10 of them get loose motions. What will you do then? Where is your planning? So this has been an unprecedented thing जो किसी को सपने में भी नहीं इमेजिन कर सकते थे कि ऐसी चीज होगी।
Of such magnitude, absolutely.
Of such magnitude. So the onus is on the individual, on the society, and on the government also. So it has to be all three levels.
समाज को भी आगे आना पड़ेगा।
समाज को भी आगे आना पड़ेगा, समाज को अवेयर करना है लोगों को।
बिल्कुल, आपने बहुत अच्छी बात कही। बट सर, यू आर हेडिंग वन ऑफ द मोस्ट प्रेस्टिजियस कैंसर हॉस्पिटल्स इन द कंट्री, द राजीव गांधी हॉस्पिटल। मैं आपसे जानना चाहती हूँ कि आपके यहाँ जो हेल्थ केयर की फैसिलिटीज है, कीपिंग इन माइंड द थर्ड वेव दैट मे कम एनी टाइम नाउ विद वेरिएंट्स लाइक लैम्डा एंड कप्पा एंड ऑल ऑफ दिस, आपने क्या सोचा है सर? क्या विचार है आपके, किस तरह हैंडल करेंगे? क्योंकि लोग तो परेशान
we have taken it very seriously, both at the administrative level and at the all the other levels, and we are gearing up for this problem whenever it comes, however it comes, whatever the severity. So we have started teaching programs, starting from the ward boy up to the highest level. क्योंकि इसमें ऐसा नहीं है कि आप अगर सिर्फ अपर लेवल के स्ट्राटा के लोगों को आप टीच कर दो, योर जॉब इज डन. इसमें even in the second phase you would have seen that the work done by ward boys, the work done by nurses, the work done by nursing aides is
It's
tremendous.
commendable. COVID warrior.
Tremendous. अगर आप उनको एजुकेट कर दोगे तो आपका आधा जो लोड है हट जाएगा, जो सारा लॉजिस्टिक्स का है. उसके बाद क्या होगा कि यू विल बी एबल टू फोकस मोर ऑन द प्रॉब्लम एट हैंड देन ऑन द लॉजिस्टिक्स के ट्रक गया कि नहीं, ऑक्सीजन आई कि नहीं, इधर कितनी ऑक्सीजन है. इफ यू ट्रेन समबडी, you know, if you delegate work to everybody, then it is going to be very, very helpful. So that is what we are doing. So जिसको जितना समझ आता है उसको हम adequately utilize कर रहे हैं, and we are trying to delegate it.
Because after all, contribution of each person is important.
Exactly.
So the value of diet and water is very important, and water in our diet is also very, very important. So how do you look at this? How do you justify this as far as cancer patients are concerned? What should be our strategy to eat right and also hydrate ourselves, because garmi bhi kafi hai.
नहीं, you are absolutely right. If you take water, मैं तो अपने सारे पेशेंट्स को बोलता हूँ कि if you take two patients, one who's adequately hydrated and another one who's inadequately hydrated, definitely the person who's hydrated, he or she is going to do much better than a person who's inadequately hydrated. Meaning thereby, you should take about 2.5 to 3 liters of fluids in a day. कैंसर पेशेंट स्पेसिफिकली मैं बोलता हूँ कि अगर आप कीमोथेरेपी लगा रहे हो, तो मैं बोलता हूँ आप अगर पानी पियोगे, हाइड्रेट रखोगे, तो दवाई अपना शरीर में काम करेगी और बाहर निकल जाएगी. उससे क्या होगा कि एक तो दवाई का जितना ऑप्टिमम यूज है वो हो जाएगा, और दूसरा जो अनवांटेड उसके साइड इफेक्ट्स है वो भी नहीं होंगे आपको. सो इट विल बी अ विन विन सिचुएशन, बेस्ट ऑफ बोथ द वर्ल्ड्स. खाने के विषय में ये कहता हूँ कि we are more bothered about the calories. We are not bothered about which way it is going, whether it is solid, whether it is semi-solid, whether it is liquids. आपके कैलोरी अगर अंदर जा सकते हैं तो आप सपोज आपके अंदर मुंह के अंदर छाले थोड़े थोड़े आने लगे, जरूरी थोड़ा ना आपने रोटे पराठे खाने हैं. You can switch over to खिचड़ी, दलिया और blenderized foods.
बिल्कुल.
आपको अगर आम खाना है तो मैंगो शेक बना लो, ठंडा कर लो. मुंह में अगर चाले, you will love it, you will take more. You know, you suck ice creams, तो उसमें क्या होगा, चीनी जाएगी, थोड़ा न्यूट्रिशन जाएगा, तो calories are going inside, so your body does not suffer. Why? Because if the calories don't go inside, body जो है क्या करती है, body तो ताकत लेगी, बाहर से थोड़ा ना लेगी, अगर बाहर से नहीं आ रहा तो अंदर से लेगी. और उसमें क्या होता है, आपका जो मसल मास होता है, आपका जो फैट होता है, उसमें से कैलोरीज मोबिलाइज करती है. शरीर जो है और शिथिल होता जाता है. सो इट इज अ डबल वैमी. सो इफ यू टेक फूड whichever way, you know, solids, semi solids, liquids, it's going to help you.
And what is your vision in the end, sir, of changing the landscape of India as far as food is concerned? Eating local, eating seasonal, you mentioned, drinking a lot of water, you mentioned. Anything else that you feel we should take heed of if we talk about nutrition and healthcare? Because it is in sync with the pandemic. It is in sync with every doctor's vision of a healthy India, sir.
See, we are very fortunate that India is such a rich cultural heritage. No other country in the world has such a rich and a robust heritage. Unfortunately, we don't make use of it. That is the problem. बाहर के लोग हमारी चीजों का पेटेंट बना लेते हैं, चाहे टर्मरिक है, चाहे, you know, there are so many things you and I know. So you have tulsi, you have ginger, black pepper. People are making patents. So we should focus. One is middle of the road path. Don't be an extreme machine. Eat methodically, eat whatever is justified, eat whatever is required. Second is, as you
Don't
rightly
overeat.
said,
Don't overeat.
there's no need to worry.
Uh,
Second is you take the local produce.
जी
आप अगर समर्स में बोले कि मेरे को जो है वो खाना है, ब्लैक करंट खाना है,
हाँ,
who's going to justify it? You know,
बिल्कुल.
seasonal fruit, best, fresh, high antioxidants. It's going to work well with you. Then of course, जितना packaged foods कम से कम खा पाए, क्योंकि उसमें additives होते हैं, preservatives होते हैं, तरह तरह के colors होते हैं. Avoid that. जो भी अगर आप concoctions लेते हैं, like tea, coffee, moderation में लेना है. Everything in moderation. Avoid sodas. Take juices, fresh juices if you want. Fried food stuff, if you can burn it, then you take it. By burning, I mean you have to go for aerobics for 1.5 to 2 hours every day, which is impossible. या तो आप काम करोगे या aerobics करोगे. You're not film stars, right? And you don't have a personal trainer. So best is to, keep it in moderation. कभी अच्छा लगता है तो once in a week you can have it, but otherwise it's a big no. And the most important thing is that you should have restrictions, but they should be minimum. जितने कम से कम आप अपने जो है aims रखोगे, उतना ही ज़्यादा follow करोगे. If you take 10 aims, I have to follow this, you will get confused and you'll drop half of them.
बिल्कुल सही.
So I think you should make it as simple as possible.
Yes. And thank you so much. This session has been packed with so much wisdom and insight. I'd like to thank you for joining us, Dr. Vineet Talwar, for your valuable time. And I would also like to thank the FSSAI Eat Right Foundation India and Herbalife Nutrition for supporting us in this endeavor to make a healthier India. We all need to come together and contribute towards a healthy India. Till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Namaskar.